Good afternoon, and welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Quantus. So, of course, yesterday I tried to do a stream, and we had a little bit of technical difficulties, and then the server crashed. So, moving forward, for now at least, I'm going to leave my texture pack disabled. So, the textures are a little bit more murky, and that's the reason. I do apologize, but I've got to find a new version or something of the texture pack. So I've been working in this area a lot, as you can tell. The lighting is not totally set. I know I've got a lot of torches. The torches down here I don't mind. They fit, they look good, and it's not too bad. But anyways, I've got all this stuff labeled now. We have mob items, we have bricks and blocks, we have wood and saplings, we have miscellaneous junk, and keep in mind a lot of the drawers are missing, as you can tell. In these areas, I haven't even started sorting things into them. Ingots and gems, which I'm probably going to switch a lot of these drawers here for compacting drawers. But, you know, that's why I'm not making any more drawers right now to fill in these spots, because I'm not sure how many I'm going to pull from this and how many I'm going to need. Plus, I'll do compacting drawers in the center probably. So, we'll see. That area is going to change a little bit, mainly just the drawer setup and everything. And then over here we have plants and seeds, and then in the back here we have food overstock for food ingredients and the like. And this is where, honestly, where I've been spending the majority of my time working, is down here in the storage area. And then up here, you'll notice that we have this beautiful room. I'm actually very, very proud of this. It's not totally finished, of course. We still have torches on the floor and, you know, things to sort out. I've been playing around with different light ideas. You know, I did play around a little bit with those orbs that I was making a few episodes back. Those things. And then I've also got more like, let me see here, like these. Almost like those sconce type things coming down from the ceilings. But I don't know. I've got to figure out what I want in here and what I like and everything. You'll notice there's a ton of architecture blocks where I was playing with different railings and trying to get the color that I wanted. This is actually a cyan glass from Chisel that I ended up going with. These light sources over here are balustrade ends made with glowing blocks. So I think they match the room perfectly and look fairly good. And then over here, I actually have this door digicoded. So we actually have to put in a password. I mainly did it for, you know, the effect. Like it's a big high-tech warehouse. It should have a digicode, you know. So if it becomes a nuisance or something for us, I can always remove it. It's not really to lock anything in or out, but it's more just for the effect. So anyways, like I said, that's where I've been spending the majority of my time working. So... but today, I know Sheridan this week has been like super tired. I haven't seen him online pretty much all week. So, I did try to hold out on Tinker's Constructs, but we are going to get into Tinker's Constructs today because, of course, getting into that is really going to help us moving forward, because right now I'm still using these dinky tools and having to worry about repairing them, and, you know, they're slow and just meh. Granted, if you get an efficiency 5 on something, it's, you know, it's better, but the amount that you'll have to go through to try to get that is just, it's not worth it when we have Tinker's Constructs right here and ready to go. So, I've got a bit of grout cooking up, or, yeah, and getting seared bricks, and then I've also got some sand that's going to start cooking up in a second. I think I cooked up 4 stacks of seared bricks to get us started. So... anyways, where we're going to be setting this up today is going to be a very, very temporary location. So, just a heads up on that. And I'm thinking that we will just stick it like right up here for now, so that we have access to it in the house and everything. I do need to light these walls up. Alright, so we're going to set it up over here. And I know I may start working on it soon. I know Sheridan was going to make a... like smeltery kind of workshop and all that for Tinker's Constructs. So I may start that because before too long, mainly sorting the light and some decorative aspects. I'll do the chisel stuff on the side kind of as we progress, because I want to do some like really detailed chisel work inside of there. But for the most part, I mean, that building has really come along and it's, it's usable now. So I'm fairly happy with it. So I may start working on that. We'll see. We'll see. I'm trying to like leave stuff, not do too much without Sheridan. But I also need to, there's certain things I need to get, to move forward with the base. So let's go ahead. We're going to get ourselves a bit of blank patterns, 40 of them. I believe that's actually a little bit more than what we need. But that's okay. That is a-okay. And we're going to need to get our stencil table and then a couple of these pattern chests. These are also very, very handy. So that they are, this other one we're just going to set, for right now, we'll put it right here, I think. And then we'll go ahead and get our tool station, which this one actually goes here. And then I'm going to need just a piece of wood. Alright, and then we'll get our part builder. Very, very nice. So we've got all of that stuff set up. And so next up, what I want to do is let's make ourselves pretty much all the stencils. Is generally what I do. I just make them all because it just makes life a whole lot easier to have all this stuff on hand instead of having to, be like, oh, well, I want to make a lumber axe, so let me go make all these different stencils and work my way through all that stuff again. Might as well just go ahead right out the gate and make them all. Alright, so we now have all of the patterns. Now, technically now you could remove the stencil table because it doesn't really serve much of a purpose at this point. But the nice thing is if you have a full Tinker station and you click on one, you can tab between them. So that's why I'm going to leave it. Plus, I generally leave it just because, like what if one of these patterns explode or something, That's a little bit extreme, but we're going to roll with it. And so next up, what we're going to want to do is actually build the smeltery. I do believe. So let's go ahead and get ourselves a bit of these seared bricks and start laying this thing out. And so I guess we're going to maybe go with like a larger one for right now. And I'm going to keep expanding it once I move it because this is what we're going to be using for ore doubling for a while. So realistically, having a large smeltery within this pack, not a bad idea. I don't think so. So I think for starters, we're going to go ahead and go with like I think we can pull off a 4x4. I think so. So that's what we're going to shoot for. I did go ahead and get a couple buckets of lava as well. So we're going to hold on to that. The worst thing is we don't have access to anything like a drum or anything that I can think of. I know you can store fluids in the smeltery tanks, but it's only like 4 buckets, I think. So we don't really have any good source of, moving large amounts of liquids at the moment. So now let's go ahead and make our important key parts, which are things like the controller, the drains, and let's see, do we have space? I'd like to put drains down through here too. We shall see. Because since it's going to be ore doubling, I would like to have, a fair few drains for basins and everything. But for right now, we may just leave it, and we'll add that later on. I'm going to go ahead and add some bricks here. Then we'll set up our drains. We'll do like one here and I think one right here. Then of course we're going to need faucets. So let's go ahead, attach those, and I'm going to go ahead and add ones to the sides as well. Now that I think about it, because we can do basins, on the sides in addition. So, and then let's go ahead and get our casting table and our very first casting basin. We will expand this very, very soon. I can already promise you. We'll do our casting table right there, our casting basin here. And for now, which this will end up having glass and stuff on this, but right now I don't really have a place where I'm like, okay, well, let's view it from here. So I'm just going to do it as seared bricks. I'm just going to do it like this, and we're just going to roll with it. And then next up, we're going to need a seared tank. Alright, and then this has become a valid multi-block. You can see that we can open it up here, and we have a fair few number of slots in this thing. So let's go ahead and add some lava to this. And keep in mind, I know it's the world's ugliest smeltery, but this is just to start. So, And we have enough for another basin, so let's go ahead and get one of those. You can never have too many basins when you're using, this is ore doubling, I promise. It's very, very handy to have. I'm going to throw that stuff in there for right now. So now we have our actual smeltery set up. So I think the next step for us is, let me go get some aluminum and copper. And aluminum brass is 3 parts aluminum, 1 part copper. So I'm going to go ahead, smelt it all up. We're going to have like we're going to have like 60 aluminum brass. It's going to be ridiculous. So that's going to take a minute to run. Now, in addition, another thing that I do need is going to be, I need to start making an obsidian tool. So for those of you that didn't know, the alumite and everything is, oh, is it 2 for the pickaxe? My bad. The alumite, you know, that was so prevalent in 1.7 where you had to, you know, combine aluminum and iron and obsidian and all that, that's no longer a thing. So you don't have to worry about that. Now you just need to make a obsidian pickaxe, which is fairly easy to do. You don't even have to have a smeltery to do that. And that's how you're going to be able to mine your cobalt and your ardite. So it is a whole lot easier, you know, to go ahead and start gathering up your nether materials. So now we have our obsidian pickaxe head, our wooden binding, and our wooden tool rod. Now keep in mind that every single material that you can make tools out of now in 1.10 does have an effect. So you'll see that obsidian has durite. Durite, your tool lasts longer most of the time. So it's basically like unbreakable. And then ecological that you'll find on your wooden stuff will actually allow your stuff to regenerate over time. It's one of my favorites. Well, there's a lot of really good effects, but ecological is so nice to have on a tool because it will passively regen. And we'll go ahead and name it starting pick. But ecological does work fairly well. Like, you will notice that you don't really have to manually repair your stuff anymore. So it is very, very handy to have. And now we've also got all this aluminum brass that's built up. It's still kind of changing over. The alloy creation isn't instant like it was in 1.7, but that's fine. That is perfectly fine. I actually quite like it myself. But what we can do is we can make, of course, some of these stone materials, and then we can throw them into the casting basin and pour our aluminum brass on them and get ourselves casts, which of course is how we're going to make, you know, any kind of material that has to be cooked up in the smeltery to create any kind of, you know, metals or alloys, that kind of thing. Of course, we have to use those metal casts in order to create those. And so I'm just going to make one of every cast, just so that we have it on hand, because this is another thing I don't really like, having to make casts like after the fact. I just want to make them one time and be done with them. So I'll continue that shortly because I'm going to cut in just a moment. But the next place that we need to go, of course, is the nether, because we need to start getting cobalt and ardite. Because, of course, that's how you create manulin. Manulin being the highest damage material in the game, and cobalt being the fastest for things like mining and cutting down trees and whatnot. So I do want to go ahead and get a few. I know where some's at, so give me just a second here. So right back here is some ardite, 2 pieces to be exact. So let's go ahead and snag that. And then we need to go find ourselves some cobalt, which I am, you know, after I cut, I am going to spend a while here in the nether collecting cobalt and ardite. I know where quite a bit of it is. I've kind of made a mental note. But this is cobalt. It's kind of a bluish. It's kind of hard to see in the nether sometimes, but that is cobalt. So, anyways, I'm going to do a bit of mining, and I'm going to go get the rest of those casts made so that we have all the casts. Now, I will go ahead and say there are a few patterns that don't actually make casts. Things like bowstrings, you couldn't make that out of metal. The majority of the things you can. And also keep in mind there's a few patterns that, or a few casts that you can make that don't actually have a pattern variant, such as jewels, like emeralds. To get those, you just throw like an emerald in there. And the same with like ingots. So, but I'm going to go ahead and make all those casts and stuff once I get back. And then I will see you guys in a bit after I do a bit of mining and stuff. So, I'll be back. Alright, I've got all the patterns, or all the casts now, except for gems. That one, you seem to have an emerald. And I don't have any emeralds because of the crash yesterday during the stream. It ate all my emeralds. But anyways, we've got quite a bit of ardite and cobalt here. A lot of it. This stuff seems like more and more common to find. Like, I was finding big deposits of 4 to 6 of them in the nether. I did have to go a little ways out, but then I just made like kind of like a little circle and got plenty of it. So anyways, let's go ahead. There's a few tools that we're going to make. Now, I am going to go ahead and say that moving forward, we are going to be doing a lot of Tinker's Construct, both stuff and different tools. So there's a few other multi-blocks from Tinker's Constructs, as well as Tinker.io. We're going to be getting into all of that during the Iron Era. And then in addition, I want multiple different tools because of the fact that we're going to be using Tinker's tools for a while. Let's face it. And so, I mean, I want like axes that, you know, cut down a whole tree. I want axes that smelt a whole tree for charcoal. I want, you know, I want that variety. So we're going to be doing a fair number of different tools. A lot of them I'll do off camera. But let's go ahead and figure out how we want to lay out our first tools, which I think first off, we're going to go for a pick, of course. A pick is super, super important. So let's go ahead and get a bit of cobalt smelting up. Let's go ahead and do like 6 cobalt. Yeah. Alright, and actually while we're waiting, let's go ahead and get our materials and U-book. I feel like this book is more important now than it used to be. Before, it was easy to remember everything that was in there. But now, of course, you have all these different tool materials, you know, that you have options to. And this way you can check and see what the, you know, what the effects are that are added. Alright, so we've got our cobalt melted up, and I went ahead and grabbed a few other things here. I'm going to throw just like 1-2 pieces of silver in there, I think, to go ahead and smelt that up. But our cobalt, let's go ahead and pour it and make our pickaxe head. And of course, the nice benefit, if we take a look in here at your tool materials and cobalt, you can say that cobalt is going to increase your speed as long as you keep going. With a cobalt head, plus it has the highest base speed in the game. Now in addition, there is the lightweight modifier, which I would like to get. So I'm going to go ahead and make, I think, the handle out of cobalt as well. Because now we get both of the different cobalt modifiers. Not all tools have different modifiers for the head and then the extra pieces, the additional pieces, but cobalt is one of those, and both of those I feel like are very, very nice for mining. Now in addition, if you use ardite on the tool minus the head, you can actually get durability back whenever you mine stone, but it's not 100%, so you will still see a durability loss. Our binding, we're going to go ahead and set that up as treated wood, I do believe. And the nice thing about treated wood is it works just like wood. It gives you that ecological boost. If you take a look here at standard wood, you'll notice that it has 15 durability, whereas the treated wood has 20. Treated wood is a little bit better than standard wood, so if you have that option, you know, you could always go for that. It's not a huge difference, but it, you know, every little bit helps, of course. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this together. This is going to be our mining pickaxe. For like our all-purpose mining and everything, we'll put fortune on it and all that good stuff. You'll notice that it has a bonus speed of plus 10%. That is from the lightweight bonus. It has 3 modifiers. It has a really low attack, mining speed, meh. So anyways, that's going to be our standard pickaxe. Now there's no way at the moment to increase those modifiers. So 3 is what we've got. So what I figure we'll do is we'll put luck on this, and then we'll probably put just a couple batches of redstone on there to get that extra speed. We'll go ahead and call it Pikachu. That's one of my standard go-to names that I love for pickaxes. So Pikachu. And then, of course, if we want to add modifiers to it, let's grab ourselves a bit of lapis here. We have a lot of lapis, so we're going to go for the full, the full effect on this. But the nice thing is that you can see if I throw multiple things in there, you'll notice if I hit it once, it's going to go ahead and bump it up to luck 60. And if I do it again, 180, and then once more, 360. So now this thing is full on luck. It has fortune 3, and we'll get, of course, our extra loot whenever we mine with it, which I'm happy about. Now that means I can toss this fortune 3 pick. Now you will notice, like Soulbound, for example, does not require a modifier to use it. So that you can add anytime. It's not going to cost anything. So we are eventually going to add Soulbound to all of our tools. It just requires a Nether Star. Now another new modifier that's really nice is the glowing one. Using an Eye of Ender and a couple glowstone dust, it's going to enable your tool to place light down whenever it's at a low light level. It places down a light source. But it does take durability, and so I'm not going to put it on my standard, my fortune pick. So I think for the rest of the modifiers, we're just going to add a bit of redstone to this thing. And there we go. So we have a mining speed now of 22.02. And we have maxed out the modifiers on that. So this should be a fairly good mining speed. If we take a look here, yeah, it breaks through stuff fairly quickly. Has fortune 3, and also, of course, it heals itself. And the more that you mine with it, the faster it starts to mine. So very, very handy. I'm very happy with that. Now next up, let's make a sword really, really quick. And I do want a fairly good sword. And my personal preference, of course, if you didn't know, is the longsword. I absolutely love it. So let me grab our sword blade cast and our tool rod cast. And then the handle, I want a hand guard. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and make the handle out of treated wood. There we go. Because I do like the repairing properties of a treated wood sword. It's my personal preference. Now the tool rod, we are going to make this out of silver. And the reason we're doing that, the reason we're making the tool rod out of silver, of course silver is not the best durability or anything like that, but silver is very, very nice because it allows you to basically have innate smite on your weapon, allowing it to deal additional damage against undead, and of course that includes the wither. So I figure it will definitely come in handy. And then the sword blade we're going to go ahead and just make out of manulin because of course that is the highest damage material. Now we'll go ahead and tell you that if you don't want to use the treated wood, you can make it a little bit better by giving it cobalt because it has a higher attack speed then. But the longsword, I just want to go for straight up damage with it. So I am very, very happy with this. You'll notice that we have a sword here that has 11.14 attack damage. It has 3 modifiers and is fairly good all around, so I'm happy. Plus, of course, it's going to heal itself. The nice thing about Tinker's Constructs now is I feel like, before there was kind of a meta with Tinker's Constructs, like everyone was like, okay, this is the best, sword, this is the best crossbow. Now I feel like it's a bit more freeform, so you can kind of, pick and choose what suits you the most, which I absolutely love. I hate when things go meta like that. So let's go ahead. We're going to add luck to this for sure, because we're going to be using this to kill stuff all the time, and we definitely want to get the additional drops and everything. Alright, I think this sword, overall, this is going to be our focused wither killing sword. In addition to, starting out, I want luck on it and things like that because we'll use it for other purposes. But I want it to, the other 2 modifiers that we have access to on this, I want to focus them into, fighting the wither and dealing more damage. So what we're going to do is let's go ahead and make ourselves some graveyard soil. And this stuff, if you were to smelt it, then it's going to turn into this consecrated soil, which you'll notice it says that hurts undead, But in addition, you can also add smite to your sword with it, or your weapon. So I do figure that there's a couple other things we're gonna make for wither killing. That's gonna be very, very nice. But I do think a sword with smite, of course, will definitely help. So you'll notice it kind of gives it this like glow around it, and you'll notice that it does smite. Oh yeah, we're gonna need a lot of that. But it is a massive, massive amount of damage that it increases for justice. So anyways, I'm going to get that stuff made up. I'm not going to do it all right now. But it actually looks really, really cool, right? We can kill cows and get much better drops, which is awesome. Like, I just killed a cow and got 3 beef, 2 leather. I'm very, very happy about that. We will end up making a smite sword as well, I think. But honestly, I mean, this sword you could probably do without the luck if you wanted to. Personally, I like having luck on just about anything, but that's just me. Because more drops, you know, can never hurt. And honestly, I mean, these weapons, we're going to be fine for killing pretty much anything that comes up, you know. But anyways, also you'll notice that I'm using this longsword. This is my personal preference. The slingshot's nice for getting it started, but charging the longsword is probably the best way to travel in this era, in my opinion. So, the slime sling, I'll end up using that to get a big jump to start with, but the longsword's nice because you can control your flight, of course, mid-air, which is always handy. But anyways, I'm going to end out the episode here. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button, and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already for more daily videos. And like I said, we'll be doing a lot more of these tools moving forward. But we'll probably do those on like streams and stuff like that, do a bit of tool work and whatnot. Yeah. So I hope you guys join me for that, and I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care and stay safe. Next episode, we'll maybe, I don't know if we're going to do more with Tinker's constructs, like Tinker IO and the Tinker's tank and the smelter, or the cooker, I guess, what we would call it. Or if we'll get into hopper ducks or something like that. We still need to go to the Halloween dimension at some point. I'd like to do that with Sheridan, but we will definitely do that this age, or this era. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care and stay safe, and I will see you then.